For this project I went to the timber market yesterday and I bought all the wood that is required. I went for teak wood. There are two types of teak woods, one is African and one is Tanzanian. Both are comes in Africa only, but the Tanzanian ones are pretty costly because they are uniform in size and they are less bent. Let me explain the plan that I'm going to do so it serves as a reminder for myself also. So this is going to be my bed and this is the front side. The dimension of this side will be around 5 feet and the dimension of this is going to be 6.5 feet. Every piece whenever I set, I kind of see if it is bent, and you can see it is bent here, and also if I see it's flush. So this side it's flush, but here there is definitely a wobble, and this one feels much better, there's no wobble. So this is the size that I will keep down and I will cut the piece flush. Now if I try to break it, it will not break, although we can still say this is an end grain, it's not going to break. So the more the density, the more it is better. After cutting flush on the other side, from there I took this measurement and this is how much the wood I need, and this will be for the finger joint. So I have marked the same in all those things. So whatever is after this mark is all going to go away. So for example, here in this piece you can see that this is a damaged piece. I made sure that that gets gone in the off cut. Similarly here in this wood you can see there's a little bit of damage, so everything on this side of the mark is going to go away now. I've set the vernier to a particular measurement which is 25 mm right now, and I have locked it in place so that whatever measurements I do, it's going to be the same. So here, after marking the distance from the corner on both the sides, I first do the marking so that it's visible to human eyes, and then with a red pencil I just mark which piece needs to go away. So in this piece the center will go away because this is the shorter one, and you can see in both the sides I have marked that the center piece should go away, whereas in the longer pieces I have marked that the corner pieces will go away. So this one and this one will go away in the longer pieces. So in the chop saw I have dropped the stopper here, and now no matter how much I push, it's going to cut at that line only. So what I'm going to do is take out chips from here and then just knock it off so that I will be able to remove this. After cutting using that stop method, I am able to get the mortise and tenon joint in these two long pieces. Now for the shorter piece, this part has to be removed, and my idea is to take it to the drill press, and I have put a Forstner bit here. So what I will ideally do is I am going to drill out 1, 2 and 3 holes in it, effectively releasing this piece from this line, and then all I have to do is just cut this one and this one here, and this piece will just fall off. As you can see, I have removed the material from the 3 holes. Now I can go ahead and start cutting. It's relatively clean. I just want this kind of a joint because the more the surface area of the wood is sticking together, the more the strong is. If I just did a butt joint and added some screws, it would still hold up for the next 5 to 10 years, but it will not be as strong as this. That's why the paint for this. It's not perfect, but I can make it perfect in the next few steps. This is a rough fixing that I made to see dry fit, and I have cut two right angle pieces in the CNC machine. They are perfect right angles, and I'm going to screw them like this in the corner so that I get the angles proper. My thought is, if I put one piece here and one piece on the far corner over there, if two corners are set properly, then automatically the rest of the two corners should be alright, but still I will use a square to check all these things. We were able to take care of joining all the four pieces. Of course, I had to use a third piece. You can see here I have used a third piece. Next, the mortise and tenon joint which I did is not perfect. As you can see, I'll show you a closer look. There's a gap here and here, so I'm going to use some wood chips and try to fill this up. So I'm going to use this cordless, this 8 mm bit over here, and then once I drill that, I will be using some wooden dowels inside it. The outer frame is ready. Now I have to do the inner frame. For that, I've got this small size of wood. Of course, I've cut this to size, and I'm planning to insert it like this. The wood is little bent, so I will clamp it later, but the idea is to, once this inset is coming, I will be able to put metal slats on top of which I can put the plywood, and then on top of that I can put the bed. So here you can see I have stained some of them and not stained some of them. That's because I'm going to sandwich them in an alternate color pattern. Before I could sandwich them, I have to face the ends because they are very uneven. There's a little bit of chip out, but I think in the next final cut I will put a masking tape and then cut it. Next, I have to offset these colors because I want to make it like a finger joint and draw a mark. So when I offset it, I will offset each piece like this. As you can see, I have offsetted the piece, and that forms a teeth structure so that the rest of the pieces will go and lock into it like that. The arranging part is a little tricky, and that's where the lines that I drew earlier is going to come in place. So here is the line if you're not able to see, and I'm going to just offset all the pieces like this. So the first piece becomes my reference point, and based on that I am going to adjust all the other pieces. So I am going to pull this one a little back, this one also has to come back. This is the only way for me to arrange everything in line, otherwise when I go to the next step you will see disorders. with that you can see that the piece is ready, and you can see that there are fingers on either side. Now I can clamp them together. So here's the piece that I glued yesterday, and you can see that on one side it's stained, and the other side of course I sanded it flush, because this is going to go on the inside, and if I do not sand it right now, after I fix it, it will be a great difficulty. I measured from the edge around 18 inches, so I'm going to like put it like this, which means, as you can see, this needs to go inside this wooden piece. So I have to mark the edges, take some material off, and then kind of do a mortise and tenon joint. That way there will be a lot of area that is in contact, and it will give me enough stability. This is where we left off yesterday, where we glued it, and we had put all the clamps. Today morning we removed all the clamps, and we have the remaining pieces which are going to go in between. So today's task will be to paste the insides. Here at the back I already tried and saw how I'm going to glue it. We tried to apply glue on everything and then put them together, but it didn't work out. So for this new set of legs, here I am going to first glue these three pieces which are the stained ones, and then attach the rest of the non-stained ones later. So that's the approach that I am going to take, because the one that I tried earlier was a successful one, but it was really painful. It took us at least 2 hours to put all the pieces together. I know the clamps are going to be there overnight, but I still feel a couple of nails won't hurt. So I'm just going to hit them inside so that they hold the pieces together. By the way, the length of the nails is this big, that is what I'm using. So it will actually go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. I opened the clamps after 4 days, and you can see the bed looks almost complete. I say almost because there's a lot of sanding that is need to be done, and also I have to round the edges. So here's a close-up look of this edge which I already showed you, but here's the edge of the recently glued up pieces. It's turned out pretty well, and that's only because of the sanding. Here you can see on the inside how the pieces are all lined up together. So next I will start rounding out all the edges. I will round out on the top and I will round out on the sides also. After 3 days, this is the output. As you can see, we have rounded all the corners, we have sanded them also. They look pretty good right now, smooth to the touch. And here I have cut some grooves. That's because the staining process failed and I want to still highlight these legs in some way. And inside that I will be fitting these brass wires. So this is a 5 mm by 5 mm brass wire, and as you can see, when you polish it, it looks like gold. So instead of a gold inlay, I'm going to do a brass inlay here. Here's the final look of the bed, and you can see the brass inlays. After sanding it thoroughly, I applied 2 coats of walnut stain so that the wood becomes a little darker, and finished it with water-based polyurethane from Asian Paints. And I added a 50-50 mix of matte and gloss, and that's why you see it less glossy. I've placed it here inside this tiny house, and as you can see, it's plenty of space for 2 people, and that's why I add my pet Mikey also in the pet. With 3 of us, it's ample space. This is a Japanese style of a bed which is less in height but has relative space at the bottom so that we can store things. Also, because it just stands in 2 legs, it's good for cleaning as well. I love the brass inlays. As you can see, this bed fits almost 3 people, and I can quite comfortably add Mikey into it. So for 2 people and a pet, this is perfect. And this is where I have placed it, just next to the window in this tiny house. Give a look of the corner, and that's the view. I hope you like this video. It's quite a long one, and if you still came till the end, thank you so much. I just wanted to detail every bit of this build. I hope to see you in the next video very soon, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy learning.